Hey guys, Infidel1258 here. Today I want to share with you a clip from a members-only YouTube live event. If you want to be present for these live events, consider supporting my YouTube channel. Check out the membership page. Get involved at whatever level you want. You can be invited to these weekly live events. And in this conversation, we're going to talk about how Splinterlands will reach our moon mission. I think this is actually closer than ever. And I think it comes out of a place of tearing down people's hesitation by seeing SPS grow, and that's sparking player-based growth, FOMO, and those that are watching but not yet involved. And so I want to unpack why I think these things and how I truly believe it's possible that SPS sees crazy prices and why it would happen sooner than later, and also what that would do to player-based growth, card valuations, etc., and how they're all just one domino hits another and they all fall. Let's talk about it. If that sounds interesting, stick around, stay tuned, like and subscribe. Have an amazing day. God bless. Gathering, take your profit every 10% pump, buy every 10% dip. Yeah, that's a great strategy too. Absolutely. You've been saying that for a while. I think, it's paying dividends for you personally. Would you buy SPS if it hits $1? If not, why would you expect others to, is the question we need to ask. This is a great question. Yeah, this is a great question. And Paul has a related topic. We would need a ton of new players for SPS to be worth $1. Agreed. I might need to gather my thoughts on this and make it a video in and of itself. I feel capable of responding to it right now. Both of you guys' topics being kind of almost woven together. But I think it would be a better video if I grabbed it and took it aside and thought about it and really got my notes together and mind around it. Maybe I would say it this way. The short answer is, I think this game is going to land in a place that somewhere close to where they're aiming, which means that there'll be radical price appreciation for the assets in this game and the rewards that it's paying. And if that's so, I think that the value of SPS will be recognized for what I've always thought it would be or could be. So when gathering, you say, would you buy SPS if it hits $1? If not, why would other people not? Or why would other people do so? And Paul, when you speak to it and say like it's going to take a lot of new players, like I don't really, maybe there's some skepticism in you about us reaching there. I get it. I go, the thing is, I think of SPS as being worth $1, like a value of, not price. They're different. It has a value that is greater than its current price point because it allows me to generate revenue within a blockchain-based video game that rewards me for my time and attention. There's a greater value than the price reflects. And so then you might say, well, Dwayne, if you're telling me you think of it as $1 or worth more than its 3-cent price point, why would you sell any of it? Why wouldn't you hold it? Because you got to remember time value of money. The SPS, even though I might think of it as a truly, I do, I think of it as $1. I do think we get there. I feel confident that the player base will grow. I feel confident that it's worth that, to use, the language that you guys are implying. I do think it's worth that because I think the tokens, the NFTs, the rewards from Splinterlands are worth more than they're being priced at. And so, but why would I sell at lower price targets if I truly think their value is greater? Because time value of money. Time value of money means that today, the dollar that you might have can be worth, like if I told you you could have $10,000 in 10 years, or you could have $5,000 this year, it would actually make, and not everybody knows this, it would make financial sense to take the 5,000. You might go, what do you mean? Like you're giving me double the money if I wait. Yeah, but you got to wait 10 years. What about inflation and how that erodes your dollar? What if like me as the payer to you disappears, goes broke? There's different complications that can happen across a 10-year time horizon versus a 1-year time horizon. And then finally, having the money in your hands, the 5,000, which is the lesser sum in your hand today, can afford you new opportunities that themselves can make money. This is what lotteries do. When you win the lottery, at least in Canada, I don't know about America, we have this lottery called Set for Life. And they give you $1,000 a week, every week, all year round. So $52,000 a year. That's like an income in Canada. Now it's not a huge one, but it's an income that could literally, and it's for 25 years, or they give you this lump sum that's way smaller. So you can wait 25 years to collect your full sum, or today you can have a check that's worth 25% of it or something. I don't know the numbers, but the time value of money is the principle I'm talking about. Putting the money in your hand today enables you to afford options that might change, that might give you, joy, peace, right? There's opportunity that you want to take advantage of, and you can't do it unless you got the money in your hand. You can't wait 25 years or the 10 years in my example. You want it now. And so what I'm saying is, like, I sold my kitty. I didn't want to sell my kitty. It was selling for $4,000 at the time. I sold it for $3,000. I didn't want to sell my Lux. It was selling for about $1,200. I sold mine for a little bit of a discount around $1,100. But then guess what? Those ended up being long-term good moves. But regardless of whether they did or they didn't, the interesting thing is that they afforded me opportunities that I wouldn't have been able to have otherwise. That's why I would sell SPS at prices that are lower than what I could perceive its value to be. I think of it as a dollar token. And I think one day we get there because a lot of things, I do see a path to player growth. I do see the flywheel taking effect. I do see land being meaningful, land 2.0 and translating into DC liquidity pools that end up driving SPS burning, etc. I do see external money, and I do see, the tokenomics game, the DeFi side with liquidity pools, etc. being exciting, plus the game being interesting. Plus there's other games that are being tied into this. We look at moon cards, we look at tower defense, we look at, the GLX stuff. This is growing and growing and growing. I absolutely see a place where we get there and where people will buy it for $1 justifiably. But me having a bag now can and should strongly consider the early cash out in some contexts. I don't say cash out meaning like full exit. I say cash out in that metaphoric sense, or that analogy type sense, where I'm looking at the lottery winnings. I can sit on my ticket, which is my SPS bag, and wait for the 10 years to go by and get the full amount that I think it's worth, or I can take a lesser dollar value today, and yet that doesn't compromise my idea or my belief or my confidence that it is worth more. It just acknowledges that the money in my hand today affords me opportunities today that if I wait, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, those same opportunities might not exist. One example, in real world, if I sell my SPS for 30 cents and I do so in a meaningful way, exiting, the space and giving myself, what would amount to a lot of money, like, it's $30,000 US. I could literally buy a second home with that down payment. That's a meaningful opportunity. Now, in 10 years or 5 years, is that going to amount to a down payment on a house? I don't know. With inflation, you'd almost doubt it would. So do you see, that's one example of how taking less today can make sense because of the time value of money. So that's why I think I would sell for less than $1, and yet I can believe that it's worth $1, and I can believe that someone will one day buy it for $1, and they will be justified in doing so. Because at that moment, maybe that's 3-4 years away. Maybe it's 3-4 weeks away. I could imagine us reaching $1 this cycle. But I don't know that we will. And even if we did, I would be okay with liquidating some at lower levels because of all the principles I just described. Great comment. And then one little final note from Paul's angle here. We would need a ton of new players for SPS to be worth $1. Yes, we would. We had 500,000 players playing this game during the last bull market. I think we could have 5 million accounts trying this bull market. I truly think that. And I think it's as simple as this. SPS goes to even 10 cents, and you're getting 50 cents a battle. You're getting $5 a day for playing a game, and that grabs people's attention. They move in to play the game. They have to buy an SPS bag. They have to buy cards in order to do so. That spikes price appreciation in SPS as well as the cards themselves. That drives new wealth from us as players who have those cards and are selling at those higher prices. We buy more SPS. That creates more tension on the SPS market. SPS going up means that people are burning it in order to get into liquidity pools, because the SPS going up is driving the returns, the APRs on those liquidity pools. That is leading to a place where more and more tension is on SPS, driving it higher and higher and higher. And this is absolutely a recipe for prices to get out of hand. And that to me might mean 30, it might mean $3. And I think and that as it goes from 3 cents to 10 cents to 30 cents to 50 cents to $1 to, you get exponential player growth, not because people love blockchain-based gaming or they understand the revolution that this is, but almost exclusively because the price is the best advertiser. The price will tear down their doubts and barriers. The FOMO will drive them in at no matter the cost. And so that's how I see us getting there. And I see, you're right, player-based growth is required, but I could see radical player-based growth. Maybe it's 1 million players, maybe it's 5. And now remember, some people can have multiple accounts, and they will have multiple accounts if SPS is reaching into, if you can get paid $10 a day playing Splinterlands or $100 a day. Okay, so let's think about this. If you can get 12 wins a day and you get 5 SPS per win, you get 60 SPS. If it's $1 a day, that's $60. That's $60 per account in gold. How many accounts would you want in gold if you were getting paid $60 a day to play this game? Do you think you can have 1 account, or you can have 10 accounts, or as many as you possibly can? That's how player growth can radically moonshot in this crazy, insane way. That's not sustainable, mind you. And that will crater after SPS craters, because these people aren't here for the revolutionary nature. They're not here for the entertainment value. They're here for the face-melting financial opportunity. So that's actually in part to me what's happening already, and what can and will happen as we see appreciation in SPS. And we're already seeing it. We were at 1.3 cents and we're at 3 now. That's big, man. And I know it doesn't feel big to you and me because we've been here and we collected it when it was 20 cents, 50 cents, whatever. But to the onlookers from the outside, they see a stable game with, that's been here for years, that's proven itself, that's been reliable, that has, public openness with their regular town halls, that has a community that's passionate and attentive, a Discord that's alive, YouTube viewership that's crazy, actually, like 100 concurrent viewers, 120 concurrent viewers for 2-hour lives. This is well received right now, and people know that, and that can and will translate to steady SPS growth, which then leads to parabolic growth because of the recipe I just described, especially as you add in the bigger picture of where Land 2.0 pops in and the liquidity pools and what that would do. It's crazy, guys. It's crazy. So yeah, I do see it as being worth more than 30 cents, but I would still sell some at 30 cents. I would sell some probably at 15 cents, 30 cents, 50 cents, and $1. That might be my exit plan. And if I don't reach some of those targets, so be it. That's kind of where I'm at. And if we did make it into something like $3, I probably would take even more than I wanted to sell and sell. Everything's this moving target. I don't really have, I'm not making a promise I'm going to liquidate at certain keynotes. I'm just going to watch the marketplace. But generally speaking, something like that makes sense. And I do already practice this idea of selling in my mind. Okay, I would do this. I would go in and I would move my SPS and sell it for Hive, and then I'd get my Hive and I'd move it onto a separate exchange and I'd cash it out and I'd put it in my bank. And I have methods and approaches for how I would do that. I've thought that stuff through because I actually think it's possible and I want to be ready when it is. Same with my XRP and so on. Yep. Gathering says, or you just need a large supply of SPS to be burnt even with no new players. And here's the key. It's not going to be one or the other. It's going to be all of the above. Price goes up because bull market means a rising tide rises all boats. So price appreciation happens because crypto's going up. That's part one. Part two, player base grows for a lot of reasons, because of enjoyment, because they're chasing after FOMO, and tokens disappear because that's how the game is designed. So it's the token deletion, player-based growth, cryptocurrency bull market generally. That's 3 different major variables, and within each of those, they kind of have multifaceted sort of factors that add or precipitate that reality. And this too, man, not nearly enough cards for anywhere near thousands of new players. There are only 10 or less max cards of most rarities. And so again, for the same reasons that SPS can draw in new players as it appreciates, because wow, how many SPS and how many dollars am I getting per win? As you start to look at what the cards are doing and how someone buys a $5,000 collection in order to play at gold or diamond or whatever, and then their collection's worth 50 grand, and that story gets shared, you know that sparks FOMO in others who buy cards, and that creates tension in the supply demand of cards themselves. So millionaires are getting minted by card ownership, they're getting minted by token ownership, they're getting minted by gameplay and absolutely probably bot use, or if not bot use, multi-accounting. So this is one of the beautiful things about Splinterlands, is that all these dominoes are there's such an interconnected nature across all of these angles that can lead to a real parabolic move for this game. Like if SPS goes, that sparks something. If DAC starts being deleted and locked up in different ways, that sparks something for SPS. If cards appreciate wildly, that sparks something for the tokenomics, because people need the cards in order to chase after the tokens, etc., etc., etc. And that interconnected nature is absolutely planned, intentional, and genius. And so this is exciting. This is powerful. I'm super pumped about this moment, but I do have strong concerns about like the 120 day and beyond range, because I don't see how the stock market can keep going up at this moment, all-time highs. Gold can keep going up, all-time highs. Crypto can keep going up, all-time highs. All of it. In the meanwhile, the economy is falling apart because housing and food are not affordable. And there's like World War III seems like it's looming in a lot of respects. It feels like something's coming to a head. Maybe I'm wrong, and God willing, I am wrong, because I don't wish for the sort of outcome that I think is possible. I wish for a stable economy where we all see sort of regular and sustainable growth. But what I anticipate is this blow off top, and then this absolutely cratering, multi-year bear market across maybe every sector, possibly with the exception of gold and silver, which might in that moment sort of reclaim sort of a global sense of kingship within the economy, because you can't print gold. You can mine it under the ground, I know, but man, there isn't enough, and there has never been enough, historically speaking, and that's why gold has always grown as we print money. And so that's why it's part of my picture. But I own my house, I own real estate, I have all the like long-term investments in the traditional sense, but then I also do the crypto thing. So I'm diversified, and I think that's probably wise for each of us. But man, this feels like it's home run time. I feel like it's time to swing for the fences, and I think things are exciting. So I think I'm going to leave it there, because we're going to take off, go to IKEA, me and the wife. But Paul and Gathering, I appreciate you both. Thank you so much for all of your comments and for this great conversation. Probably clip this last bit around, SPS, price spike, moon mission. And I think that there's a lot in there that I think other people need to see. And so, yeah, just thanks for everything. And I will schedule another one for next Thursday, I think, or Friday. And I'll try to do maybe the same time, but for 2 hours if I can. So anyway, stay tuned for that. Have an amazing day, guys. God bless. Bye for now.